It's about 10 days ago now, so in terms of internet news, it might be considered old. But Bernard Hopkins gave his opinion. He threw his hat into the ring on this classic cornerstone of debate, which is going to remain a classic cornerstone of debate in decades to come, which is who had the better legacy, Floyd Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao. And the Philadelphian former middleweight, light heavyweight, picked the Filipino. He said he would prefer to have Pacquiao's legacy. He said that Floyd Mayweather fought opponents on his watch. And it's a sentiment that is echoed by current fighter Ryan Garcia, who said that Manny Pacquiao did something beyond boxing. Whereas Floyd Mayweather, kind of similar to what Max Kellerman said about him, he kind of played boxing the best. He was on par for the course, but he didn't inspire in that way. As a spectator, I would have to agree. In the last 20 years, who was the zeitgeist of boxing? You'd have to say Manny Pacquiao. He was the burning spirit of boxing if you just had to pick one guy. He had better wins. He hit higher crescendos. What he did to Barrera in 2003, who was top 5 pound for pound, absolutely shredding him. Amazing victory. Floyd Mayweather's similar performance would probably be against Diego Corrales in 2001. But Corrales was not the fighter Barrera was. It wasn't as good a victory. Barrera had beaten Hamed. He got his revenge as well after Pacquiao over Morales. Just a better fighter, a higher pedigree. And Pacquiao did things he wasn't supposed to. He's about my size. The man's about 5'6". And he went up and battered the likes of Margarito. Won titles at 8 different weights. The way he stopped Hatton. He just did unbelievable things. And despite losses, despite the horrible knockout loss against Marquez, kept going. And he's still a champion today at 41, which hits back at what Floyd Mayweather once said against Pacquiao. A few years ago, it may have been before they fought, and he was saying, where was Pacquiao in 1998? Where was Manny Pacquiao in 1999? Floyd talking about the fact he was a champ back then. We know Manny Pacquiao first lost in 99, but he was a champion in 98 at the very end of that year at flyweight. So technically, they became champs for the first time in the same year. So Mayweather trying to say I was on the map before this guy, it doesn't fully hold water. Pacquiao was a champ at a very young man, and he's still a champion today. Right, the only guy to hold titles in 4 different decades now, right? That's the statistic. It's crazy. The weird thing about Floyd Mayweather and the difficulty he's going to have going forward is because we know, as boxers, the likes at least of Hopkins and Garcia, and as spectators like myself, we can see he was holding something back in reserve, the way he picked opponents, the way the last part of his career was weirdly the easiest. His most celebrated opponents, Canelo and Pacquiao, they were like sparring sessions. And when part of you was waiting for him to step on the gas and just show us something and show that dominance, show his brilliance, he didn't do it. Not in the way that Sugar Ray Leonard did against Roberto Duran in the rematch. It's like, okay, here's a guy who's beat me. I'm going to humiliate him. I'm going to make him quit. Mayweather never really had that in him. In the mid-noughties, when Mayweather was definitely in his prime, he didn't like it when he was being forced to fight in a bit more of an exciting manner, because people got on his case after the Castillo fights. And then he fought Victoriano Sosa. Not a great fight. And there was that period there against DeMarcus Carley where he had to kind of come forward a bit more. He didn't want to do it. And perhaps to some extent he forgot that boxing is a spectacle. spectator sport. Manny Pacquiao fought for the audience, it seemed, as much as he did for himself. Floyd Mayweather, what was it? Was it the last round in the rematch with Maidana is when he officially did some shameless running? I think it was in the rematch with Maidana. He just took the whole 12 rounds off and started doing that skirting around the outside. And it's that kind of spirit of like, I've already got my eye on the next fight and I'm just wrapping this away like, you know, a good stock market deal's just been done, that really leaves a sour taste in the audience's mouth. And it is why the reason why he doesn't connect the same with the public. As a head-to-head fighter, yes, Floyd Mayweather at super featherweight, at flyweight, not flyweight, at super feather and lightweight, Mayweather's sensational. Put him against anyone. That defense, the ability to just thread shots through, smooth over the rounds, very difficult to fight. But if you ask me, if you ask boxers like Hopkins and Garcia, whose legacy would you prefer to have? And I'll ask you as well, whose legacy would you prefer to have? For me, it's quite clear. To get all the adulations of the fans, to just have left it really all in the ring, still as a champion at 41, it's got to be Manny Pacquiao.